Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Today we are going to be reviewing Clash of the Titans, the old and the new, and comparing them both.
That's right, folks. Even though we did this over on the Cigar DMs,
which you should definitely watch,
channel last Sunday, we're doing it again just because we had actually planned this in our schedule, and then Connell wanted to do it with us, on his channel. So, just in case you didn't see his channel,
but we didn't talk about absolutely everything. So.
Right. So, we're going to start with the 1981 version starring Harry Hamlin, Judy Boker, Laurence Olivier, Burgess Meredith, Ursula Andress, etc., and of course Bubo. Is that the owl's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
But not an actor. Just a.
I had seen this movie growing up as a kid in the theater, and of course I loved it. It was it was a great movie, and the reason we're doing this as a review as part of our channel is because of all the great work and more or less a capstone to the great Ray Harryhausen's monster making technology and techniques and all the great monsters he gave us. And in this one, this was the crowning achievement, in my opinion, to his career. I'm not familiar with any other movies he made after this. Maybe there are a couple, or he did something that I'm missing. But for me, this was the height of his career. The monsters he made in here were just, top of his game, and
yeah,
it was a great family movie. What did you think of it?
So, we'll get to comparisons at the end, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. A lot of the stuff is dated, but to me that doesn't really matter. You can not only you can tell the skill that went into it, but it looks good regardless of that. It was incredibly talented to make all this stuff, but at the same time, some people say it's dated, but that doesn't mean it still doesn't look good. It looks good then, and it looks good now.
Absolutely. What was your favorite monster?
I'm gonna say the scorpions.
Really?
Just because I like bugs.
Okay. For me, it's...
The scorpions in the next movie, too.
Medusa, just the absolute pinnacle of all the monsters he's made. This one scared me the most. Even when I watched it just a couple of, last week, I guess it was, I'm just like, that was creepy. The opening sequence where you just see her shadow, her black shadow on the red glowing wall was just, that was just cinematic gold. It was just absolutely perfect.
One thing, though, is I don't think they should have, in both movies, I don't think they should have shown her face, at least, until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least until he starts using the
I suppose I could see that. But I think they wanted to really just scare us just a little bit more before that scene.
It's all the same scene. Yeah. But until he starts using the mirror, mm-hmm. I don't think we should have actually seen her face. Mm-hmm. Just because.
What do you think of the actors?
The actors, I like them. They're all good.
Perseus,
yeah, he did good. Yeah. We watched this one first, so my memory of the actors isn't as strong. I mean, for either one, it's not that strong. I don't have it exactly, but from what I remember, From what I remember, they did fairly well.
I actually prefer Harry Hamlin's performance over Sam Worthington. He had that more innocent. Sam Worthington is the guy from the next movie.
No, who did he play?
Perseus.
Okay.
Yeah,
you just looked him up.
Yeah, I just preferred his performance, the style of look he had. He just was more believable. He had that innocence to him.
I will say this did feel more like a Greek story. It felt more, not necessarily a Greek story, but it just felt more like a story that would be told in those times. Maybe not necessarily Greek.
Yeah, there was no modernization to it. No newfangled slang. No slang that was inappropriate. Everything was perfect. The costumes, the actors, the scenery, the filmed on location. All those things were just.
Also, the props were just perfect.
Oh yeah, especially
the sword, the shield, the helmet was not the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the owl.
Everybody loves the owl. They loved it so much they brought it back in the second movie. Yeah. Speaking of the second movie, shall we go on to that one?
I had a few more things to say, but we'll get there in the comparison.
Okay.
The second movie
starring Sam Worthington, Liam Neeson as Zeus,
and Liam Neeson as Hades. That's not true, but I thought that at the beginning.
It's
I
Ralph
saw
Fiennes
I
as
saw Hades and I thought, is that Liam Neeson? And then I saw Zeus and I said, wait, that's also Liam Neeson.
But we were wrong.
Yeah.
It was actually Ralph Fiennes.
But they do look really similar.
And then
at least in the few pictures I've seen.
you know what? I forgot to talk about Judy Boker in the first movie as Andromeda. Absolutely loved her as Andromeda. And
well, aside from those two things.
Well, that's a huge reason, or two huge reasons.
What?
I really preferred her over the other actress, which was Alexa Davalos, I think. I can't read my own handwriting. Sorry if I butchered your name, but let's go back to the second movie now.
Yes, let's do that. Okay, you reminded me. This movie is completely inferior, and this is superior for one particular reason, and it's what he just said. That's not true. I like the first one better. But so this one, I didn't have very high expectations coming in.
Neither did I. I was expecting to hate it.
So was I. I was expecting...
We were both totally proven wrong. It was a very entertaining
It was entertaining. Movie. And, yeah, the CGI was better. One thing that I understand why they didn't do in this movie with the scorpions is that they were kind of just a distraction in that movie. Mm-hmm. But in this movie, they're amazing.
Yeah, they almost stole the show.
Yeah, if they had... And it's not just the CGI that they use. Yeah, the CGI was good, but... They probably, if they had done what they did with the scorpions in that movie, it would have still been good. Which they probably could have done if they would just had to, they only would have had to have replaced one of the other monsters.
Yeah.
They would have had to have replaced one monster, don't know which one. Not replace them completely, but
just spend more time.
Yeah, spend more time on the scorpions. Yeah, spend more time on money on the scorpions than something else. What that something else is, I don't know. But I understand why they didn't. But they neither had those constraints. Also, I think in the original Myth, the Scorpions weren't that big of a deal. Maybe they were, I haven't read it.
Yeah. The actors?
The actors.
And actresses.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't like that Perseus was bald.
Yeah, it was a completely ridiculous concept. Everybody back then had long hair. Why Perseus would be the only person in the entire world with more or less a shaved head was only to make him stand out amongst the other actors. Yeah. Everybody else had long hair and beards, and they shaved him, clean-shaven, shaved head, just so that you could actually tell that he was the hero. And to me, that was just weak. It made no sense. It was like he was trying to rebel against every single thing in life in that movie.
Which he was.
You're absolutely correct. And
also,
just completely out of place.
But
he was a good actor.
Yeah.
You know, I saw him in Terminator, whatever it was, and that's how I recognized him.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, he had his entire attitude and outlook on life was completely different.
But we'll get there later. We're still on the actors. Also, Liam Neeson wasn't Liam Neeson.
Fantastic as Zeus.
So,
such a better feel to the character. You liked him more.
Yeah, Zeus in the first movie was
just a jerk.
But more accurate.
Yes, absolutely.
Zeus in mythology was not very good.
No, he was actually
if you know the smallest
monster,
thing,
actually, but yeah.
Yeah, if you knew even the slightest thing about Greek mythology, you know Zeus wasn't very good.
And Liam Neeson was just, you know, he was like this far away from being like Santa Claus. You know, in that kind of, you know, I mean, he did some neat, sort of rough stuff in the beginning.
And also that thing with the whole, that.
But then at the end, he just comes across as, you know, just the nicest of gods you can imagine, and you know,
which is weird considering
it was, but we like my question. So I guess that's why.
I guess we'll get to the message now. We talked a lot about that on the show, but I'll go briefly over that, and we'll go briefly over that here, and that is this movie. I mean, it's what it is.
It's just a retelling of an epic
story,
a mythological story. Absolutely, this movie.
Not so much. He doesn't like the Black Pegasus, but we'll get there. I have a theory about that. Much like I have a theory for Final Fantasy.
Just like the shaved head, they wanted to change something so you could recognize it.
No, this movie takes place in the Shrek universe.
Oh. Okay.
But this thing with the message is that it's giving to it. The movie seems like it's written by two people who have entirely opposite directions they want to bring the movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of them wants to have this very anti-religious, the gods are bad, mankind is really good, almost an actual Greek-style perspective, because Greeks, they like living, and if there's another world out there, it's not as good as this one. That last part isn't what was being said, but they were saying mankind is good, the gods are bad. But then, every time you saw the gods, it was like a different person was writing it. They had the same writing style, but it was giving the opposite message.
Yes.
It was like they would say how bad the gods are, and then they would show Zeus disproving that. Except for a few exceptions, notable exceptions. But
only in the beginning, and then afterwards.
Well, the beginning and then halfway point.
Right, there was that one thing, yeah.
Yeah. But we don't want to get into too many plot spoilers.
Right.
But
we never do that.
Yeah.
Even though I'm wearing my spoiler shirt.
Yeah. So, they would say something, and then a few scenes later, they would disprove it. Which was weird, because I heard a lot of people saying that this was a very left-leaning movie, which sometimes it did, but then sometimes it seemed like the complete opposite. And it was confusing. The plot, I mean, I know some people who's holding the camera right now think that the whole thing was incredibly confusing. The actual plot itself wasn't. The message, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole thing.
He was completely schizophrenic or bipolar or something, just, split personality. It was, like I said at the beginning, it was a very entertaining movie.
Yeah.
I expected to go in hating the movie, and I'm just like, I'm at the edge of my seat watching certain scenes, notably the scorpions, and the flight of Pegasus was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All of the monsters were pretty top notch, and
yeah, the Kraken I liked, but
yeah,
I liked the Kraken in the original movie. It had a different feeling to it.
Yeah. The
Kraken in the new movie is this epic thing. You have these
tentacles everywhere.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Which was more what I was always expecting. Even as a kid, I expected the Kraken to be just a big giant, tentacle octopus squid thingamajig.
Obviously, I know they couldn't do that. And
they just chose not to.
Well, yeah, they could have if you've seen certain movies where they had these massive puppet tentacle monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm referring to one movie in particular, and I don't remember what it's called. But they could have done it, but at the same time, they didn't. I don't think they had enough money to.
Maybe they just wanted to go with kind of the original, or the original.
I really liked the Kraken in the first movie. I think that the scorpions are my favorite just because I like bugs.
In this one.
In this one too, and then it's the Kraken, especially in the first movie.
What about Calados, whatever? Here and here. Who'd you like better?
Okay, this guy, I liked. It felt very familiar because we had just seen all the Sinbad movies, and I liked it. The guy from this movie looked like he came from the Call of Cthulhu video game.
Yeah, or he was just burnt. He just looked like he had burn damage. He didn't have the horns. He didn't have the completely Ray Harryhausen Cyclops troglodyte
Also, they're two
face.
different characters. They're two different characters.
Right. Well, technically, they changed a lot of the lore in this movie versus this movie. But
that's just one of the other things that they changed.
All in all, we like both movies, and they're definitely worth watching. But if you've never seen them, please watch this one first.
Yeah.
If you watch this one first, then you go back to this one, it'll skew your opinions of them. You'll go, oh, this one's great, and this one's crap. Because you can watch this one, appreciate the hell out of it, and still watch this one and appreciate everything about it too. Because we both were expecting to love this one more than this one. But
I like this one more, but this one has some better things, especially when it comes to the story. I know this one was following the legend, but the stuff this one changed to that I think was better. But
mostly just special effects, not story.
No. In some story,
okay.
The main villain, the antagonist, was different.
Okay. Well, what about the whole love interest thing? This one felt
I couldn't care.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this one felt real and natural and innocent and true love, etc. This one felt completely alien to what this story is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a love story. Perseus, Andromeda, true love, love at first sight. The guy gets the girl, saves her at the end, etc. This one, it was just going a completely different direction. They could have had the movie without Andromeda.
You mean Io? Oh, yeah, they could. Well, no, they couldn't.
Almost. I mean.
Also, this movie does. I'm actually not going to say that. You can discover that part.
Yeah, yeah, but
you know what I'm talking about, right?
So, out of 10 stars or.
I don't know. I'd say this one is like a good, and the other one's good but not as good.
So 7, 8 maybe.
Around that range, and whatever that one is, it's 0.5 less.
Okay, fair enough. I'd give this one an 8, and this one
7.
6, 5, 7, something like that. I like this one so much more. I've got more invested in it. I grew up watching it as a kid.
Yeah, I definitely it's a full point below. The only thing is this one did a few things that I think were better.
Yes, absolutely.
I think they did a few things way better, but this one stuck true to the original story, and it was just. I mean, I'm aware that doing CGI is still hard work, but this one just. I don't know. I like.
It's more physical. And
I like physical.
And more hands-on skill. No knocking anybody who does CGI or computer work whatsoever.
I mean, I want to get into
that.
But
you got to understand, we're miniature guys. We work with miniatures. We paint. We do all the hard stuff. We could do things a lot differently. We could use stand-ups, standees for our miniatures, and it would, or tokens. It would be the same. But we appreciate the art that this is.
And I am always.
But we're blown away with the art that this was. Absolutely.
In almost every form. Actually, every form. But mainly because I'm not very good at anything digital.
Not yet. Give yourself some time if that's the way you want to go. You still got plenty of time to learn those skills.
Also, quickly, my theory on why Pegasus is black. Okay. So, in Shrek 2, Donkey drinks the potion. Actually, no, that doesn't matter because that's not what does anything. Shrek drinks the happily ever after potion. And he turns into a man. So does Fiona. She turns into a woman, a regular human woman. And Donkey turns into a white horse. We never get to see the dragon. But they say the dragon becomes a Pegasus. So my theory is that the dragon becomes a Pegasus. But because she was a dragon, it's a black Pegasus. And because we don't see her, she just gets brought over here, does all this stuff, and then comes back and becomes a dragon again.
So there you have it, folks. That was our review of Clash of the Titans with a little Shrek thrown in there. Who would have spotted that coming? Not this guy. We hope you guys love these movies. We hope you guys will also go check out our longer review with Connell over.
Link is in the description and comment section.
It is?
Not yet.
It's like, wow, this guy's good. So please go over and check out Connell on Cigar DM. He's like family, and we enjoy doing his show. But we wanted to make sure you guys, just got, our quick take on these two movies because we sort of promised and hinted that we were going to do it. And then we got, shanghaied over to Connell's channel, which was a lot of fun. And we will be doing it again this Sunday. So
when you go there, just subscribe so you can see the rest of the stuff.
Give them all the love you can, for us, and tell them we sent you. And, until tomorrow when I will be doing an Al-Qadim Dungeons & Dragons review to go along with the Sinbad theme of this month. Have a great evening. We love you guys, and we will see you real soon.
Good night.